Hey, what's up guys, it's me, Marshall the Gamer 420, yeah! Today I'm here to talk about somebody that's very special. Mariah Carey! For those of you that don't know who Mariah Carey is, wait... Why am I introducing her? Everyone knows who she is. She's the third most famous person in the world, just losing to Jesus and Rick Astley. Mariah Carey, also known as Miss... You all know her and you all love her. But today, I'm here to talk about something that you might not even be aware that exists. You already saw the title of the video what it is, but I don't want to ruin the continuation of the video, so I'm going to explain it anyway. In 1995, she released Daydream, an iconic album, possibly the most iconic of her entire career, since it features classic songs such as Fantasy, Always Be My Baby, and the duet One Sweet Day, that held the title of longest running #1 song in history, until Old Town Road came destroying everything in sight. The album was a massive hit, and it's definitely not a rock album. I mean, if you consider songs such as Fantasy a rock song, you might as well consider Aretha Franklin an industrial metal singer. But it was during these sessions that Mariah, together with friend Clarissa Dane, recorded and produced the record Someone's Ugly Daughter, under the alias Chick. The album was released a few days before Daydream, and as you might imagine, since you never heard of it, it did nothing. The airplay it received was minimal, it charted nowhere, the group Chick doesn't even have a page in the Billboard website. But there's a main reason why the record didn't make it big. Mariah's name was never associated with the record from the beginning. Songwriting, production, it's all simply noted as by Chick. And since the lead singer of the project was Clarissa, not Mariah, there was pretty much no path that would lead to Mariah's presence in this record. In fact, it was as recently as September of this year that Mariah talked about the project for the first time, in her memoir The Meaning of Mariah Carey. Prior to that, pretty much no one even knew that this record existed, much less could have imagined that Mariah was involved in it. It didn't even have a Wikipedia page until the day of the release of the memoir, even though the music video of the two singles of the record, Malibu and Demented, have been uploaded to YouTube in 2009. Since now we are entering this topic, I feel like now is the time to listen to the songs. So let's do it! Wait a minute, where are they? Alright, so here's the thing. I couldn't find this album to listen anywhere. It apparently was uploaded to YouTube once, but it got taken down for unknown reasons, probably copyright. The closest I got to actually laying my ears in this album was this video of a guy reacting to the album that God knows where he found it. So all my knowledge of these tracks are based on the snippets of this video. Luckily there are plenty. And based on those, I could tell that it sounds pretty similar to '07, which makes sense, because she mentioned it as one of the main inspirations behind the record. Also, here are my impressions of every track. A pretty energetic opener. It's quite good. The vocals remind me a little of 𝕑𝖑𝖏𝖒, and it's about sexual assault. Wow! It's cool. At points it reminds me a little of Third Eye Blind, and in others it's a bit punk rock. Not bad. The chorus is catchy, but that's all. It feels like a childish version of 𝕑𝖒𝖏𝒐𝖏𝒐𝖏. But it's okay. Mariah was a fan of '07 apparently. Yep, she definitely was. Cheap Trick's version is better. I like how wild the chorus is. Yeah, this is one of the best songs of the record, especially for how forward-thinking the lyrics are. It's passable. And overall, it's a pretty nice record, with high and low points. I can't really give it a score because I couldn't hear the album in full, but based on the snippets, it seems to be a 7 or 8 out of 10 or something. Right, so we got a solid album by one of the most popular artists of all time in a trendy genre. That's the perfect recipe for success. Except it wasn't, because Mariah Carey opted to stay anonymous. What led her to do such a decision? It's actually kinda complicated to tell, because this issue is so recent that Mariah has yet to say why she decided to hide it from the public for so long, so I'm going to present 3 possible reasons. 1. She wasn't comfortable with the idea that people would start associating her with the dark lyrics. 2. She supposed the album would flop, because the average alt-rock listener would refuse to give a chance to a pop star trying to make something that has theory appeal, and her general fanbase would not be interested in such a release. And 3. She just didn't feel like it. The only answer we actually have is why the album was made. As Mariah herself stated, I was exploring my musical range, but I was also filled with rage. It's always been a challenge for me to acknowledge and express anger. My personal life was suffocating during Daydream, and I was in desperate need of release. And about the idea of the band, she said, I created an alter ego artist, and her Ziggy Stardust-like spoof band. My character was a dark-haired brooding goth girl who wrote and sang ridiculous tortured songs. And according to her, the mistress from the music video of Heartbreaker is an alternative version of her. Huh, interesting. She basically did the Gwen Stefani but reversed. I honestly think it's noble when artists decide to leave their comfort zone. In many occasions this worked out pretty well. In others... pain. but the result in this case was pretty solid. But it's no surprise that this was a one-time only situation, even though Mariah seemed to be pretty happy with the result, since she's still a consistent R&B artist to this day, especially proven by her latest album that came out in 2018. I didn't hear it, but I've heard people saying that's one of her best albums, so good for her. However, I can't deny I'm curious to see how would be the project if it moved on. Which forms would it assume? Or even more, what if there was a chick comeback? I'm not sure if it will happen, but Mariah did went on Twitter saying she's on a search to find the version of the record that has her vocals in it. And I am pretty eager to hear that. While a second chick album is something that's very unlikely to happen, it's not impossible. And what if she changed the genre of the band? Could you imagine if Chick's second album was a grindcore one? Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah!